800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
There's a new food show sheriff in town, Podna. Trey's Chow Down Podcast Live will feature celebrity chefs and pitmasters with celebrity mixologists with creative cocktail menus from distilleries statewide. We'll have farmers, ranchers, wildlife experts, fishermen, and more, all for the culinary world and the foodies. Live from the Spoonie Studios on the iHeartRadio platform, Trey's Chow Down Podcast Live. Hey, and here we are back again for another episode of Trey's Chow Down Live, and I'm happy to be here today. And today I've got in studio, we got Chef Cody. Cody, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Well. Good, glad to have you here. We're going to get into you. We're going to get into you in a minute. Right now, I'm going to do my hot topic segments, and I got some good ones today, which I think are really neat. This is a neat one. Krispy Kreme has decided to go all out. They are building basically a 5,000 square foot flagship store in Times Square. Going to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have got 2 floors of merchandise. They got a kitchen, 2 floors. They got donuts going to come down on a big loop, and so you can get donuts 24 hours a day, glazed, everything. And they have all kinds of merchandise for this thing. It's just, I was going through the pictures and I was just shocked. I was unbelievable. I'm sure they'll do well there.
Yeah.
Everything does well in Times Square. But it's a good idea for them for marketing reasons, because they've had some trouble in the past. And I've talked about this before, but I'm excited still. We got John Teaser's Outer Limits opening up in Laguna Beach, and that's going to be in October. And, of course, anything John does is going to be awesome, and I'm still excited about that. So if you're listening to me and you're in the California area, L.A. or Laguna, OC or anything, that new restaurant's going to open up there on the Cliffs in Laguna in October, so y'all be looking for that. Then we also have this Saturday the new Doghouse concept, again from Cali, but they've been in Texas a while now, and I actually love them. They're opening up their another unit here in the DFW area. It's the Doghouse in Arlington at Arlington Highlands, and they do gourmet dogs, hamburgers, and all day Saturday from 11 to close, you're going to be able to get a free Doghouse dog. They have 7 different choices you can get of their signature dogs, 100% beef. And they are absolutely fantastic. If you want to know more about them, you can go to my TreyChowdown.com. And we wrote an article about them this week. We released it, and it's got all the menu items and where it's going to be and everything. That's TreyChowdown.com. Then on September 6th and 7th and 8th in Dallas, we have one of my favorite things of the year coming up. The Dallas Chocolate Festival. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing. We started going 3 years ago, and it's absolutely amazing. They have chocolate fountains. They have other things where you dip all kinds of. They have like 40 different chocolate vendors. These vendors come all over the United States. They have a chocolate dinner, a VIP dinner the night before you can purchase, and it's a 5-course, and it's all done with various kinds of chocolate. It's a neat deal. It's
cool.
Going to be held at the Fairmont in Dallas. Yeah, it's really, really neat. The first time I thought about that, I don't know if that deal is going to work, and then I went and I saw, boy, it works. But they sell out. People stand in lines for hours to get in there.
Oh, I bet.
It's phenomenal. Then one other thing I got here that I skipped over, avocados have gotten really high, as everybody knows.
Yes.
Oh, ridiculously high.
Yes.
So I was researching the internet last week when I was on vacation. I was kind of searching because I think I went into one store and they were like $3 each or something. It was, and I bought them. But they are replacing peaches with avocados. There's a company that has like 5 restaurants. A restaurant company has like 5 different restaurants, and they had a bunch of avocado things on their menu, and they replaced them with. They took the 2 avocado dishes off and replaced it with one. Like it's a toast, but it's got a peach with jalapeno and Gouda sheep cheese on it, and it's mixed with a little red chili flakes and olive oil and garlic. And then they said, it's a change. It's better to them, and it's cheaper. It's not getting out of the avocado race.
You don't want to charge $12 for avocado toast.
Or 20. You know what's going to happen. So that's just kind of. And then I want to thank my partners that re-air our shows. BigStar97.com, The Bull 103.com, and WKYN Rocks 1073.com. These guys re-air our shows, and I'm really thankful for it. And of course, I'm thankful for myself for doing this show.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know, man. All right. So anyway, so here we go. So we're here with Chef Cody. Cody, thanks for coming in, buddy.
I'm glad to be here.
Man, I really appreciate it. So, Cody, you are 30, 32 years old.
Yes.
Well, you're a greenhorn, aren't you? You're a youngin. So where are you from originally?
Doesn't feel that way. But...
Yeah, no, not in the kitchen. It doesn't, does it? So where are you from originally?
Originally from Burleson.
Oh, you are from Burleson.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you've seen that place grow, haven't you?
It's crazy how much that place has grown.
So this is gonna be my third show now I've done from Burleson in the last 90 days because I did Chef Keith Hicks from the Rim.
I saw that. Yeah,
it was a great show. I love Chef Keith, and then I did Rex Benson from old South Pancake House, and now you from the Spice Rack. Now, does it? I know everybody calls it Spice Rack, but the actual name is a Spice Rack Bar and Grill, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all have great food down there, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But I want to start a little bit. When did you get in the love of cooking?
It was interesting. Growing up, when I was in high school and even younger, my family, we had Sunday dinner every Sunday.
Oh wow!
And we would switch. A certain family member would prepare dinner. Rotating every Sunday, so each person would end up cooking once a month, and I would go all out and cook all this stuff that I've never cooked before just to try it out.
Yeah. Wait a minute, hang on. This is really cool. So when you're growing up, how many were in your family?
It was just my two parents and my brother and myself.
Okay, so 4 of you, and y'all. So that gave you one a week for every month, basically. Might be a fifth weekend there sometimes, but
sure.
But that's really cool. Y'all rotate. That's a really good family idea.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
I'm sure it was my mom's idea. She was tired of cooking every day.
So she had a different reason in mind.
Kind of put it off on somebody else.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it. That's a really neat family. That's a really. It's hard to find. I did an article on this a while back, which you can find at TreyChapman.com. But people don't sit down to eat as a family that much anymore at home. They just don't do it. It's a hustle and bustle. You could do it if you wanted to, if they made the time to do it. There are some that do, but most of them don't.
Sure.
And that's a fantastic idea because that gives incentive, because obviously everybody wants to be a competitor and they all want to cook better than or do something better than the next person.
Right.
So that's neat. So how did you prepare for that every Sunday? What did you do? Did you go out and find something, or did something came to mind, or what did you do?
Well, a little bit of both, really. For whatever reason, at that age, I was really into salmon.
Yeah.
And I'd had salmon other places and just wanted to figure out how to cook it and enjoy it the way that I've had it at restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of like an R&D process.
That's neat.
And then putting together some sides and stuff like that. But
that's neat. So basically, you're on your own little R&D kitchen.
Right, almost.
That's neat. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Having my family as
test monkeys.
Exactly.
Little test gerbils, whatever you're gonna call them. That's funny, man. You said something. You hit something. You said salmon, and some people say salmon. Some people say salmon, but it's funny you said salmon because a lot of people are scared of salmon because they eat salmon that's fishy.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, if it's fishy, it's not supposed to be fishy.
Right.
It's been somewhere too long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to get people. If you get salmon prepared fresh the right way, it doesn't taste like it. It tastes really good.
Well, salmon has a lot of fat and a lot of oil in it.
Yeah.
And as it sits, that kind of denatures a little bit and gets sour.
Yeah.
So like you said, probably if you've had some really fishy salmon, it's probably just sat around a little too long.
Yeah. That's why when people go by, they say, "Oh, I smell the fish." You really shouldn't smell anything from the. When it's a fresh fish market, you should smell a little bit of him, but not,
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So you start doing that. And what are some of the dishes you cooked when you were doing that? That's really neat.
Honestly, I don't. The biggest one I remember is salmon. Cooking that in a pan and just like ruining it, just trying to turn it, and it's like stuck to the pan, and it's like flaking all apart and all this stuff. But we'd still eat it, obviously.
You're gonna eat it. You don't want to not eat it, right? It's expensive first.
Yeah, exactly. Just like having it crumbled all over the plate instead of like a nice fillet.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's kind it at the time, it was frustrating.
Learning experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I had AMT Chef Michael here that owns Michael's Cuisine. I don't know. He was already a really notarized chef, but he did some stuff for the railroad. And the guy that owned the railroad came in because at that time they had a bunch of railroad cooks or chefs. And he came in and asked Michael, he said, "Michael, what do you do? What does a chef do to turn salmon into sawdust?" He said, "Sawdust." I'll never forget that as long as I live. I laughed and laughed and laughed for like 3 or 4 minutes. That was funny. I couldn't catch my breath. You know, I mean, it's that bad. It doesn't take long to cook anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a bam, bam. All right. So then, what'd you do from there? So you after your family, you got the bug at the family dinners,
right?
And so kind of what kind of transpired after that?
I started doing, especially after I moved out of the house at 18.
Right.
I started having to cook for myself because I didn't have any money,
Yeah.
and it's cheaper to prepare your meals for yourself. And I just got really into it. I was in art school at the time. And it felt similar to me, you know, like painting a picture, you put different accents in different places and textures and stuff like that. And cooking is the same. When you're putting a dish together, you have not only different colors to work with, but you have different textures, flavors, and finding out how all that worked together was really appealing to me, and it was really fun.
Cody, I tell people all the time that if you see a great chef that's a good plater, it's an artistic ability. Because, and no offense, some chefs have a hard time plating. They have to have somebody else help them plate. They may be great in the kitchen, but some of them just can't. And it's evident. You can look at pictures and see.
Right.
I love. Some people make things so pretty that you don't want to eat it. You know, it looks like a photograph. I mean, it's depending on where you are and the kind of money you have behind you to buy the things that you want to cook with or to use the essentials you want to use, materials, you can make just some of this stuff just look absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you went to art school first. That's what. So you went to art school, then you went to. So where'd you go from there after art school?
From there, I was
still cooking. You were cooking at home.
I was cooking at home, just cooking for myself.
Were you messing around at home with your dishes and stuff, trying to be artistic? And when you cooked at home by yourself, or you just cooked
a little bit, but at that phase, it was more because I'd never really been into food.
Yeah.
At that phase, it was more just like figuring out what flavors like work together.
Sure.
And how I could put something together that was new and like unique to me. It was really just discovering how to cook and kind of like learning on my own essentially. Because like I said, I'd never really been into food. My mom will tell you when I was a kid, I didn't even want my food to touch.
I still don't. I still don't. I don't know what it is. I just don't. But you know, if I listen to all the chefs I interview and I talk with and all the segments I do in television stuff, chefs that start off doing what you did, you know, cooking at home with their family and then cooking for themselves, experimenting, finding what works for them and their palates and different spices and stuff before they go to a school, it seems to broaden their horizons quite a bit.
Right.
You know, versus just going straight to cooking school. You know?
Exactly. No, and I had one of the first classes I had in culinary school. One of the chef instructors asked me if I had been in the program before. I was like, no, I just cook a lot.
Yeah. So it showed.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's neat. So did you finish art school?
No.
No. Okay. So where'd you do? So where'd you go from there?
Well, I was cooking at home, and then when we would have like, I don't know, I had roommates and stuff, and we would have like a Super Bowl party. I would like prepare all this stuff just because it was fun for me, and then we needed food anyway. So you gotta have food at a Super Bowl party,
right? Lots of it.
Little stuff like that, and then I would do dinner parties for my parents and their friends and stuff like that, and it just kind of snowballed, and I started doing a little kind of catering type stuff on the side, and I was making a little extra money on the side, and I was like, this is really fun. I really like to do this, and I could like make a career out of this.
Yeah.
But before I get into all that, I should probably go to school and learn figure out what I'm actually doing.
Sure. And that's when you went to culinary school.
Yes.
How were you when you decided to go to culinary school?
I guess I was early 20s. And
let me ask you a question. Was that a hard decision for you to weigh, or did you just say, pull the trigger and do it? Did it take you a while to make a decision, or you just saying, I'm going to do it?
I don't think it took that long to make the decision. I think it was realizing my limitations.
Sure.
By being essentially self-taught.
Sure.
And then, you know, I'm the kind of person when I get interested in a subject, I want to know every single thing about it. And that's how I am, and I still am with cooking.
Yeah. There's really, with cooking, and I think you know, with cooking, there's no borders. You can cook any dish. You know, if you love to cook anything, anywhere, any type, use anything you want. It's just phenomenal. It really is.
You can never know everything.
No, every day you got to learn. Every day.
My girlfriend gets on to me because I'm getting a different cookbook from Amazon every week.
Well, it's just it's. I'll tell you, like I tell, there's a difference. And this is why I say, and some chefs say I'm different, but I shouldn't. It's different, but I say there's a difference between a cook and a chef. A chef has passion. A cook is there for a paycheck.
Right.
And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
A real chef has passion. He's learning something new every day. He's looking at, with everything we have now, with all the trends, with all the food networks, the cooking channels, all the social media
There's
videos.
so much access.
There's so much stuff you can learn without even, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's overload.
Yeah.
But it's neat because I put, when I'm working at the office and I'm on social media now, we do 8 to 10 hours a day every day on social media looking for new restaurants, new recipes, new chefs. I have to do our research. And I it's not TiVo, it's whatever it is it changes every year, whatever the new thing is, like record the shows.
Right.
So I record cooking channel shows, I record Food Network shows, I record all these shows, and I just turn them on, listen to them, and I'm working on the computer. I hear it. And then if I hear something I think's exciting, I'll turn around and look at it real quick and watch that and turn back around. Right. That way I can kind of do 2-3 things at one time. Yeah. Because there's just so much of it.
Right.
Now. It's
keeping
phenomenal.
your ear to the ground all the time.
Oh my gosh, you have to. If you're going to stay current, you have to.
Yeah.
You got to stay current on chefs, restaurants, food, alcohol, and cocktails. Craft cocktails and craft beer. It's just, and there's so much of it now. It's just. You see so much of it.
Sure.
So you went to Le Cordon Bleu in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how that was. You told me earlier it was a beautiful facility.
It was gorgeous. I think it was built, 2 or 3 years before I started going there. Everything's immaculate. We have all of anything you can imagine we had there.
I never saw the Cordon Bleu. I never got to tour that. Of course, it's shut down now, as everybody knows. That
kind of short-lived.
Yeah, short-lived scandal. The one you and I talked about, the one in France is still there.
Yes,
it'll be there forever.
Yeah, of course.
I think there was a separate company. I'm not sure what happened, and I haven't read into it. But
the American Le Cordon Bleu is different than the one in France.
So how big was it? Did it have multiple kitchens? What was it? What was it like?
Yeah, there was probably 12 kitchens.
Oh, wow.
And then we had like a commissary, and there was a small restaurant that actually ran out of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was our last class in school.
To run the restaurant.
Was to run the restaurant.
Kind of like Hell's Kitchen or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've been out there seeing that place. That's nice.
Yeah.
I was out there 3 years ago. They were building a new one right on the strip. They were moving it, and boy, it was big and nice. Woo, that place. Of course, he's got lots of money. One potato, two potato. They got lots of money.
Yeah.
That's that
no
company.
shortage of that.
No, there's no shortage of that. So they had 12 kitchens there, and you learned how long was the course? How many months?
18 months.
Okay, I thought it was 17.
And then a
3-month
externship.
So basically the whole program's like 2 years almost.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So when you left Le Cordon Bleu, so one more back up. What was your favorite thing? What was the thing that stuck in your mind most about Le Cordon? What did you learn the most at Cordon Bleu, or what did you like the most, or what turned you on the most in cooking at Cordon Bleu?
Well, I think with culinary school, you don't learn everything like a lot of people think when you come out of culinary school. Right. Oh, you must know everything about cooking.
You learn techniques.
Well, that's the important thing that you learn there is you learn techniques. You essentially, what I tell people is like you learn how to learn.
Yeah.
So you have all these techniques when you go into a restaurant or whatever you're going into, and someone tells you to braise this, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you're essentially learning the techniques that enable you to really learn when you get further down the line.
So you can focus on what you want to do.
Right.
When you left there, did you have a certain cuisine you wanted to cook with, or did you kind of a certain genre you wanted to stay in, or did you want to combine some of them? What was your favorite type? What do you like to do?
Much like America, and you mentioned earlier, is kind of a melting pot.
Sure.
I like to take techniques from all over the place and kind of put them in one dish.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not super recognizable, like, oh, this feels really Japanese or this feels really French.
Sure.
But to marry some things together. Now, out of culinary school, I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do in that way. I'm just really passionate about using the best ingredients that I can find, the best. I'd rather have some really nice carrots from the farm down the road.
Sure.
Than
makes a big difference
than a big cut of beef that hasn't been treated well and doesn't have good marbling and doesn't have good flavor and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think, I do this sometimes too. I think the word farm fresh is overused now because
Sure.
it begins such a. I think there are some people There are a lot of chefs that truly do use farm fresh, but there are some that use farm fresh that's from a truck that's been on in a warehouse in a truck that they think is farm fresh, or they want to say it's farm fresh. There's a big difference in what in your meat, in your vegetables, or anything you get, even your spices. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just the flavor profiles changes big time.
Right. And everything comes from a farm, right? So you can call it that if you want to. But there's a difference between these huge farms that just grow one thing than these smaller farms that really care about changing the soil and replanting in different places, different years, just to get the most flavor into their products. It's a science, isn't it? It really is.
It's a huge science.
I've looked into it a little bit, but it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming how difficult it is.
And they have those big. I was watching like I said, watch footage. I watched 4 or 5 stories a couple weeks ago about those new big 3 and 4 story farms that are hydroponic farms in different states that are farms totally indoors.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. And let's watch the chefs taste the food and stuff, and how. And I guess you can manipulate too. You can manipulate everything. You can do different. They can, if they have a scientist, they can. Or somebody doing it for them, they can manipulate, change vegetables, and do whatever they want to do to kind of get different flavors, which is pretty cool. Different like there was one place that had like 15 different kinds of lettuce.
Oh yeah. There's a place in Dallas that I visited, or it's northeast of Dallas. But
is it Profound Farms?
Profound, yeah.
Yeah.
But I went and visited them beginning of the summer, I guess.
Yeah.
Spring. But they, it's almost like a warehouse. It's in a greenhouse, but it's like it feels like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And it's just this immaculate lettuce growing everywhere, and they have all these varieties that you've never heard of.
No, I've had probably from restaurants in Dallas. I've probably had 6 or 10 different varieties of lettuce. And it's delicious.
Oh yeah,
it's delicious. I really love arugula. I know it's a little rough for some people, but the texture is funny. But I don't know. I just love that lettuce for some reason. I don't know.
No, I love arugula.
So you did that. You got a cooking school. What was your favorite technique you learned? Is there anything that sticks out when you left culinary school? Your favorite technique, maybe? You had to take something away that shined more than anything.
More than the technique, I just kind of taught you how to work with other people, especially for me, because up until then I'd been working alone.
Solo,
working with other people as a team, and how to have a sense of urgency and work your butt off essentially. Yeah. Always try to do more than the person next to you.
There's nothing easy about it working in a kitchen.
No, not really.
No. I mean, you could hone it down, have help and stuff, but I mean, it's just you can have a constant flow and make it make the workload easy. But as far as it's just hours,
right?
It's you got to be there.
Oh yeah, it's tough work. I mean, you get a couple tasty snacks along the way, but
yeah, you do.
But other than that, it's pretty difficult work.
Tasty snacks. That's good. I don't call anything a snack because I'm a muncher. I'll eat a lot more than a snack if you throw it out there. Okay, so when you left a Cordon Bleu, what'd you do?
So I helped open the spice rack.
Okay, that's right. Okay, you helped. That's right. You helped open a spice rack. Was opening up in Burleson.
Right.
And I call it Old Town Burleson. Do they still call it Old Town Burleson?
Yes.
Where it is? Okay, yeah. Old Town Burleson, which is a neat deal. The spice rack it's got a neat area. It's got food. It's got drinks. They have live entertainment. I did a show down there. We did a 1 hour show down there. We did. We featured the chef that time, the kitchen, their dishes. We featured the artists there. It was a great deal. I really liked it. So you helped open the spice rack,
right? And
you said did you set the menu for the spice rack at that time? Did you create the menu for them?
Yes.
Okay. And then you were there for
I think a year and a half, something like that.
A year.
Just before I got the itch to kind of, like I said, I'm always trying to learn.
Sure.
Kind of insatiable that way. I just need to continue learning and growing, especially when it comes to cooking. And
which is a good thing.
Yeah,
that's a great thing.
Oh,
you don't ever want to stop. You can't stop learning.
Right.
You
can't learn everything. But you can try.
Yeah. Well, a friend of my dad's one time. I remember I was in a meeting with him, and I've heard this 100 times since then, but he said you can never stop learning. He said if you don't learn something new every day, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
I remember that, and they also said if you're the smartest guy in the room every time you go somewhere, you need to change where you travel.
Yeah.
Because you need to always have somebody that you can look up to and learn from. And then, that's what I always try to do.
Absolutely.
If I was the smartest guy in the room, we'd be in trouble anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So you did that for the Spice Rack. You were there a year and a half and you decided you want to grow and go out.
Right. And I had visited one of my cousins who lives in Denver.
And I want you to hold on to that.
Sure.
We're going to take a break so we can pay some bills because these guys are capitalists around here. And we'll be right back. Give us about 3 minutes. We'll see y'all in a minute.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And here we are. We're back again for another 30 minutes of Trey's Chowdown Live on this crazy station we call Spoonie. Anyway, we're back here with Cody, and we're going to finish up with Cody. But I was listening to that. I was listening to those advertisements a while ago, Jeff, on talking about traveling to London, Madrid, whatever. Well, I'm telling you, somebody's doing pretty well, making some money. Travel to London, Madrid, and France. Anyway, all right. So we're talking to Cody, and so you left the Spice Rack. We left off. You were working at the Spice Rack, and you wanted to travel, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I want to get into that. So because you traveled quite a few places, and you learned a lot, which is neat.
Right.
So when you left Burleson, what was your first? You just said the heck with it. How'd you find out where you wanted to go? What did you do?
Well, one of my cousins lives in Denver, or one of the suburbs of Denver.
Love Colorado.
And I visited her just for a few days over the summer, and just really, really kind of fell in love. And it's a cool city. The weather is a little more favorable there than it is here. Yeah. And I just decided to go for it. There was nothing holding me here. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to work in different types of restaurants and stuff like that. So I just went for it.
Yeah, we had a ranch and owned 2 restaurants in Colorado at one time.
Oh, cool.
The thing I love about Colorado is a lot of Coloradans don't like Texans that much, but I love Colorado because they have a lot of change of seasons. They have actual change of seasons.
Right.
It'll snow, the trees will lose their leaves, they change their colors. I mean, it's a really, and the temperature is, like you said, more favorable. It's a beautiful state.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a neat deal. Okay, so you went to Colorado, and was it Denver you lived in?
Yep.
So you have did you ever eat at Garden Grace in Denver Steakhouse?
No, I didn't.
It's there on my steak list. I've ate there a couple times. It's absolutely amazing. It's phenomenal food.
Cool.
So you lived in Denver. So how long were you in Denver?
I was in Denver about 3 years.
3 years, that's a long time. So did you work for the same restaurant? Did you try to move a couple?
I worked at a few different restaurants. Before I moved up there officially, I went and staged at a French restaurant called Jaja Bistro.
Wait, say it again.
Jaja Bistro.
Jaja Bistro.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Jaja.
But that's a French slang for wine.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So I went up there and staged one night, and they offered me the sous chef position there.
Awesome.
And so I didn't have to move up there and then look for a job. I had one day one.
I'm convinced if you're a good chef, good sous chef, good chef, that as many restaurants as there are nowadays, as much as people love food, and nowadays I say food is a rock star, and the chefs that prepare it are celebrities, and that's just basically what it is. People are always looking for new things. So that's the experiences you learned. You could probably get a good job at any restaurant, which is neat. So that's what you did. Jaja Bistro.
Yep.
And you were there for how long were you there for?
I was there for about a year.
You learned a lot?
I did. We the chef and owner there, he was from Provence in France.
Neat.
And his family I think still operates a restaurant in Provence.
Oh wow.
And really knowledgeable guy.
Yeah. History.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most of those.
Was he nice to work for? Because some of those guys can be a little hard to work for.
A lot of French chefs can have kind of temperament
Yes,
issues.
they can, yeah.
He was pretty mild.
Was he?
As far as typical French chefs go.
No pot slinging stuff going across the kitchen.
Not very often.
Yeah.
There was one situation where he couldn't open a drawer, like one of our in our cooler.
Yeah.
He couldn't open a drawer, and I saw him get pretty hot then. But that was the worst.
That was the worst
there was.
At least he wasn't directed at somebody,
right, exactly.
some person.
When he starts like yelling French cuss words, then just keep doing what you're doing.
Head
be
down.
quiet.
Head down. Yeah, keep working. What was your favorite dish there that you cooked?
We did. So we would have every once in a while. We had some regulars that were hunters, and they would just bring us some different stuff, and then come back a couple of days later, and we would prepare whatever they brought for them.
Neat. Like elk or deer,
elk,
whatever.
We did like antelope.
Antelope's delicious.
Yeah, we did an antelope tartare that was really good.
Oh man.
But yeah, it was fun to be able to just take stuff like that and then let's get creative and because they trusted us to take care of it and do it well, so we could just get creative and do whatever we wanted.
That's really neat. You could do that.
Yeah.
So working with the ball game there. So when you left there, where'd you go?
I worked at a place called Fruition restaurant and farm. So we had our own farm about an hour and a half outside of the city.
Oh, wow. Hour and a half outside Denver?
Yes.
Which way?
It was southeast.
Okay, so it wouldn't have been towards the Springs then. Colorado Springs
No.
would have been because you've been in. Okay.
It was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But,
people would come out there to eat?
The restaurant was in Denver.
Oh, okay, but the farm was
outside. Right.
Okay, so and you worked. What was the name of the restaurant?
Fruition.
Fruition. You just told me that. Okay, Fruition.
But that was really cool. That was kind of what was drawing me to a place like that.
Right.
One of our servers at Jaja Bistro also worked at Fruition. Okay. And so I got kind of in that way and went and staged for a couple weeks before they offered me a job.
So did Fruition, did they grow their own produce and their own livestock or just produce?
We did a little livestock. It was mostly for produce and like garnishes, and we had like a greenhouse for garnishes. Neat. And grew like watercress and edible flowers, eggs and stuff like that.
Chickens? No chickens?
No, we had actually one of our servers raised chickens, and we got our eggs from her.
That's what you call farm to table operation right there.
Exactly, yeah. And they were still to this day some of the best eggs I've ever had. But the big reason for the farm, we had about 50 head of sheep.
Oh wow!
And we made cheese.
Oh, okay. Sheep cheese. That's I've read several articles in the last year that people are using sheep cheese. So I guess it's either coming on strong or has it always been strong?
I don't think it's been very strong, at least not in the States. Obviously like pecorino and things. Yeah. That's a sheep's milk cheese, and I think in Europe it's bigger than it has been here. But I love sheep's cheese because it's got their milk has a higher fat content than cow's milk or especially goat milk.
Right.
So if you have sheep ricotta, which we made there, versus cow's milk ricotta, it's night and day. Like it actually tastes like cheese. It's like nutty and a little grassy, but in a nice way.
Yeah, in a nice way.
It just has a lot more flavor.
I bet that tastes good.
It's really nice.
Yeah, goat cheese doesn't have a lot of fat in it, does it?
No.
Because when you get it and you go to use it, you can tell there's dark. It doesn't spread well. You have to mix something with it to get it to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So fruition, and what kind of food was it?
It was at the time is what was being dubbed New American.
Okay.
So kind of
New American.
Yeah. I don't know what that means exactly, but
somebody's trying to find a new term to put on something so they
exactly. It's like it's American food, but it's not burgers. It's New American. I don't know.
So you had a little bit of everything there. What was your favorite dish you cooked there?
We had. There were a couple of staples that stayed on the menu. The rest of it changed a lot. But
which is good.
Right. Yeah. One was a pork belly carbonara, which was really nice.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that pork belly needs to stay on. Pork belly is delicious.
Oh yeah. We would poach some of those eggs that I was talking about. Yeah. So we would have a little piece of pork belly with the poached egg on top, and a little like microgreen salad. That's when microgreens were all the rage.
Yeah.
But with some cavatelli pasta. And we made.
Did y'all make the pasta there?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, delicious.
Oh yeah. We had one of our sous chefs was pretty much just making pasta all the time. We had a few different pasta dishes on the menu.
I just think this is going to sound funny, but I just think it's sexy to watch that fresh pasta being made. That stuff's just delicious, man.
Oh yeah.
If you don't get turned on by fresh pasta and fresh cheese, there's something wrong with you, man. You're not my friend. So that's awesome. So that was it. So how often did the menu change? Was it seasonal or did it change?
It was seasonal, so it would change 4 times a year.
That's awesome.
And then we had a couple of dishes that would change weekly.
Oh wow, a weekly special or something? Yeah,
we had what's called our grazing vegetarian course. So it would be a 2-course, an appetizer and an entree, and that would change once a week.
Neat. What do you call it? Grazing?
Yeah, on the menu, literally it says grazing vegetarian.
Oh, that's neat.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, so that's neat. You know Chef Blaine that has Grace and Little Red Wasp.
Yeah,
Grace and Little Red Wasp.
I'm actually doing a collaboration dinner with him at Grace in October.
Are you?
October 25th.
I love me some Blaine Stanford.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He has a deal on a vegan dish on his menu, and he says that I had him on the show and we were laughing about it. It was funny. He said that a lot of people will order that. And I guess to try it, and then they order a steak after it. So you did a dish in October? When in October?
October 25th.
October 25th.
So I do some pop-ups. Like once a month, I'll do a pop-up dinner. It's called Cicada. Cicada pop-up on social media. But he actually came to one of our dinners a few months ago and kind of pulled me aside after dinner. He's like, "Hey, let's work together. Let's do something."
I would definitely do that if I were you. Yeah, what you're gonna do?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
October 25th.
What's the dinner gonna be called?
We're not sure yet. We're giving it kind of like a fall harvest sort of vibe, but I'm not sure we'll even have a name for it. But it'll be Grace and Cicada together.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna harass him. I'm gonna come to that deal.
Good.
Okay, so when you left Fruition, what'd you do? Fruition or Fruition?
Fruition. There, I got an offer to help open a restaurant in Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's right. You traveled all the way across the country.
Yeah, that was a big move.
D.C. That's a big move.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I told you earlier when we were talking in the conference room out there that DC is a melting pot, man. There's a lot of stuff going on up there. I guess because the other states, they're all there's so much going on up there political wise. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm an unbiased and unpolitical food guy, it's still everything. All the stuff you watch happens from up there, so it's a neat deal.
Yeah, it's a fascinating place to live. A lot of places you'll go, you'll hear people talking politics like we talk about sports or food or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just always kind of a subject of conversation.
It's the climate.
Yeah,
it's just what happens up there. That's the hub, as they go to say, the hub.
Yeah.
So you went there. So you drove across country. So you started. Were you there at one place this whole time? What was the first place you worked there? Wait a minute. And how'd you get an offer? I made you do. How the hell did you get an offer from Denver in Washington D.C.? Somebody come in and eat your food or something?
Well, it's as in most things, it's about who you know.
Right.
So my roommate that I lived with in Denver had moved to D.C. about a year before I did.
Okay.
And got involved with this company. And they were looking for a chef and had found a couple, but weren't really sold on them, I guess.
Yeah.
And she was kind of bugging me about it. And then I was working at Fruition, which was fine dining.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of a fast casual
Sure.
concept. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And she keeps bugging me about it, keeps bugging me. And finally I'm like, well, okay, bring me out there for a week and I'll check it out. And so they did that and kind of wine and dine me a little bit. And
did you like it?
Yeah, I really did.
So what was the name of that place?
It was called Halsa.
Halsa. Is it still there?
It is not.
Oh, it's not.
It is not there.
Oh, so you left Denver, went to Washington, went to work for Halsa.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have a hidden meaning?
It means healthy in Swedish.
Healthy in Swedish.
So it was like a health-oriented, fast casual in
Washington D.C.
in a neighborhood that wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that I would not consider. Is there a neighborhood in Washington ready for that?
Yeah, I think most places in DC would be ready for that. But this was kind of an outlier neighborhood. It was in the Brookland neighborhood of DC, if you're familiar with it. But
a little bit.
Kind of on the east side. It just wasn't something that people were interested in that
So what was it? Name some of the stuff that was on the menu. You said it was Swedish. Was it actual Swedish or was it American? Did you mix American dishes with Swedish dishes to?
No, it was mostly American type. It was all straight from local farms and stuff like that. We kind of gave the owner a hard time for naming it something Swedish because it doesn't have anything to do with the restaurant at all.
So how long was it open?
I think it was like literally a year.
Oh boy, somebody lost some money, didn't they? Yes. Did they build out a new facility for it, or was it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, is that owners? Did it break them, or are they going to do something else?
They had very wealthy parents.
Okay.
So I don't think it made much of a difference either way.
So they decided to shut it down because it was just cost them too much money.
Yeah.
Or was it just couldn't do it? So what were some of the give me a couple of dishes that were on there?
So one that ended up being really good. We did meatballs that were made out of mushrooms and lentils.
Oh wow.
Which sounds kind of maybe off-putting for some, but
if you soak lentils in water a lot, they become they become very. You can do a lot of stuff with them, right? You can farm them a lot. They become very elastic.
Yeah, they're. I mean, it's basically it's a legume, so it's just like cooking beans or anything like that. But we would season it up really well. Those were actually really nice. And we got Tom Sietsma, the big food critic out there for the Washington Post, came and gave us a pretty favorable review.
That's good. That's always good. It's always good when you get a good little favorable review.
Yeah.
I try to do that from time to time.
It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt, does it? All right. So what'd you do when you left there? So did they come to you and tell you, hey, we're going to shut down a month, or did you have any notice, or did they just shut it down?
No, we had some notice.
Okay. And so what'd you do after that?
After that, I worked for Mike Isabella, who is on Top Chef and Top Chef Masters and stuff like that. He has, I want to say, like 4 or 5 different concepts just in DC,
right?
And was looking for someone to run his ramen concepts.
Oh, that's good. And I know him. I just don't know his concept. Well, I may have seen one of them, but so you ran the ramen's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I can't. Here's what I try to tell people all the time when I make my post. There is a big difference in a ramen restaurant that uses fresh, prepared noodles versus store-bought or warehouse-bought noodles. I mean, the flavor is other end of the Richter scale.
Right. But it's like you were saying with people, watching people make fresh pasta. It's the same deal with ramen.
It's just, but I guess, I don't know if you have to, I mean, you can tell right away if you've eaten both of them. I don't know if some people can't tell, but that's really cool. So what was the ramen concept called?
Yono.
Yono. That's a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's got a hidden meaning. Do you know what it was?
I don't.
Yeah, it's a good name though. It's quick. I like those names that are the one.
Yeah, you don't have to think too hard to remember it.
Because most people couldn't say it anyway if it was too long.
Yeah, exactly.
So y'all obviously you made the noodles there.
Yes.
Everything was done fresh. Who created the? Did you create any of the bowls? Did you, the ramen?
After I was there for a little bit, I did. Just to kind of, I get ADD too, and I'm like, we've had this dish forever, and it's not selling as well as these other ones. Let's
Kick
do
it
something
off.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try something else.
Bye, Felicia. So did you to learn? I guess how long does it take? And I've watched this process. I videoed it, but how long does it take to make a ramen broth, a good ramen broth?
It doesn't take as long as you would think. Some people want to cook their broth overnight, or for some people do like 2 days and stuff like that. It's kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
But it's interesting making ramen broth. It's so going from mostly French Western style cuisine
totally different
to
Way
Eastern
different.
Japanese. It's so much different.
Dude, that's like riding a bicycle to driving a jet airplane.
Yeah.
Basically.
And just even the approach to making stock versus broth.
Yeah.
And the two different styles is just so much different.
And you learned all that.
Yeah.
It's neat that you went and learned that because that's something you want to learn.
I'm
everywhere.
so glad I did.
Yeah, because you can't learn
I
everywhere.
learned so much different stuff that I'd never even thought about. And
That's neat.
It was an invaluable experience.
And a lot of people like to read books and try to learn recipes. For me, if I'm going to learn something, I have to do it to learn it. So actual going there and doing it and working in the kitchen and learning, that's neat.
Yeah.
You've got stock and you have broth, right? Explain to people what the difference is so they know because some people don't know what the difference is.
So stock is made with bones,
right?
At its most basic. Well, you can do chicken, beef, pork, whatever.
Right.
But at its most basic, stock is bones, broth is meat.
Right. And how long does it take to make broth versus stock?
It depends on who you're asking. Obviously, you're asking me right now. I actually made.
I'm asking a professional.
I made a chicken broth last night, actually.
Did you?
And I 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
I like to use whole chicken.
You just put the whole chicken in there?
I just put the whole chicken in there.
Take the feathers off first?
Take the feathers off.
I'm just messing
Might be a little funky.
Yeah.
The feathers on there, but
that'd be something, wouldn't it? Oh gosh, I'm just messing with you.
Feather broth.
I knew you took the feathers off. I was just messing with you. So the expression on your face was kind of funny. So you made the broth. So it takes about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Cool.
One thing I learned doing ramen is, so in Western style cuisine, you're gonna simmer your broth to extract as much flavor as you can out of the bones. Right. Eastern Japanese cuisine, you don't let your water get above 176 degrees because it kind of boils out some of the flavor.
Okay.
A lot of that is
it's kind of a slow and low type process, kind of like barbecue.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, well, because it keeps the flavor in.
Right.
Right. Okay.
But so at the end,
you have to be a patient individual.
You got to be really patient, and you got to be pretty persistent, making sure you don't simmer it or boil it, because then you're cooking all the flavor out of it.
Okay.
But it's really interesting because the first time I did that and then tasted it, it tastes like it sounds stupid, but it tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
A lot of broths and stuff that get boiled or simmered, it tastes good, but it doesn't really taste like chicken.
It doesn't have the flavor profile that you're looking for.
Right, exactly.
Neat.
So
that's neat. So what was your favorite ramen dish? Did you create yourself? Cody's favorite. Cody's favorite ramen dish. What was it?
It's not something I necessarily created, but it's something I put on the menu, which was a pork belly tonkatsu.
Oh. Anything with pork belly, especially ramen pork belly. I can't be hitting the table like that. I get in trouble. Sorry. I didn't even say something. Anything with pork belly is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a broth that's made with bones, and that's actually boiled with the bones in it, and the bones kind of start to disintegrate into the broth, and it gets like this creamy kind of consistency
because there's flavor in the bones. People don't know that. That's how come cut those bones for what I call meat butter.
Yeah.
Hell, Blaine has it. Clay Pigeon has. Have you eaten Clay Pigeon?
Oh yeah, yeah. My cousin
Marcus.
runs. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What is it? What is?
And now I can't think of it
I know.
either.
I know you got. It doesn't matter anyway. It's the same same concept.
Bone marrow.
Bone marrow. Yeah, bone marrow. That's it. Yeah. God, I was drawing a blank.
You and me both.
Yeah. So yeah, that's awesome. So, do you have any ramen on the menu at Spice Rack?
No.
Are you going to put any on there?
No.
Why? I'd come down and eat if you would.
It's not the place for it.
You don't think you'd sell it?
I learned 6-7 years ago that not to try to do too much.
Okay, down
at
there.
Spice Rack, people are there for some comfort food. I tried some different stuff back in the day, and it was when I wanted to kind of push myself to do more and stuff like that. But
so
people don't want that there.
No, they don't. So let's talk about Spice Rack for a minute. Spice Rack is located in Old Town Burleson. It's a fantastic place. I've been there. I don't know. I've been kidding. Tell you 100 times probably. Did that special out there. Music's always good. Beer's always cold. People are always friendly. It's a great place. They got some great food. Give us a little rundown on what's on the menu at Spice Rack.
We actually still have some stuff that I put on the original menu, which is really cool. Our stuffed avocado.
Oh, I've had that. Oh, it's delicious.
It's been a big hit since day one, and that was
what is that?
I was trying
1995.
Just about.
You can't replace that with a peach, though.
Exactly. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it would be
a little weird.
Peach.
Maybe a dessert or something.
Yeah. So you have the stuffed avocado, which is really good.
Stuffed avocado, that's been on the menu since day one, which is smoked chicken, chorizo, crispy potatoes, and then we cut the avocado in half and grill it to get it warmed up a little bit and get a little of that grill flavor going. It's a really nice dish. That's been on since day one. That's still there, and it's still our most often ordered item.
Yeah, and you've got hamburgers. You got good hamburgers.
Yeah, we got great burgers, chicken sandwich. We put a couple of new things on the menu. We've got a what we call a heart attack burger.
Oh, what is that?
I
got to come try that.
Yeah.
I think Derek tagged me in that post.
Yeah, and that's something Derek and I were talking about. We were just kind of sitting at the bar one day, and we're like, "What if we just did this crazy, huge burger?" I think people would come to try it out.
I want to come try. I do my burger contest every year, and then for Fox and ABC. So I'll come. I'll come. I'll put it on the list. Yeah,
it's a double patty burger with cheese. There's pulled pork and barbecue sauce on the burger.
Oh, gosh.
There is bacon mac and cheese on the burger. It lives
awesome.
up to its name. It's a heart attack burger.
That's cool. They have the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas on the Strip, and I've been to it. It's neat. They have have you seen it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Well, they have a big scale out front, and if you weigh 400 pounds or more, everything you eat's free. You step on this big scale. The scale is on the Strip. You step on this big red scale, and if you weigh over 400 pounds, your meals are free.
Well, I guess there has to be at least one benefit to
I guess
over 400 pounds.
Anyway, so you have a pop-up service too. What's the pop-up service called?
Cicada.
And is that Cicada on Facebook?
Cicada pop-up.
Cicada
on Facebook and Instagram.
How do you spell Cicada?
Cicada.
CICADA.
Like those annoying bugs that you hear all summer.
Cicada pop-up, Cicada pop-up. So that's on. So y'all can go to that on Facebook, and you've got Spice Rack.
Yes.
Do you know what the website is? SpiceRack.com.
I believe so.
Anyway, Spice Rack in Burleson.
That runs that.
I'm sure Google can tell you just 'cause Spice Rack in Burleson. It's great.
Spice Rack Bar and Grill on Facebook.
Spice Rack Bar and Grill on Facebook, and I do like the place a lot. They do all kinds of music festivals and live music stuff. It's a neat deal down there. Okay, so on your pop-up, what do you do? Is that something do you just collaborate with those chefs, or how does that work?
We're working on a couple of collaborations, like you said, the one at Grace on October 25th. They're going to sell tickets through Grace, and then I'm going to come in, and I think we'll open up about 40 tickets for that, and then Blaine and I are doing a 10-course menu. We're each doing 5 courses and kind of alternating.
10 courses.
Yep.
That's going to be bad ass. 10 courses.
We hope so.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, and typically we offer a 12-course tasting menu. That's what our pop-up is, and then we sell tickets through Talk, which is like a reservation system.
That's neat. So 10 courses. Look for that at Grace. I'm going to shout out to Grace, my buddy Blaine Stanford at Grace, and Little Red Wasp. But he does a lot of pop dinners in there. It's a neat place. If you ever, for me in Fort Worth area, anything in Tarrant County, whether if you want to try new dishes, Grace is the place to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's always throwing. I tried his. Marcus told me to go try the escargot at 5 years ago at Blaine's, and I went over. I don't eat it. I went over. Oh, delicious! I had two different dishes that night because he has those snails that he has them feed fed mint or basil or whatever in California.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a great dish.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I really appreciate you being here, Cody.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
this
man.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I want everybody to come see Cody at the Spice Rack. You got to go see the Spice Rack in Burleson. And if you're trying to get a hold of me, as usual, it's TreyChowdown.com. I tell everybody every week that's Trey with an E, because the good guy Treys are always spelled with an E, not the A. If you see a Trey with a spelled with an A, not an E, you gotta leave one eye open and look at him kind of funny. You gotta check him out. But Trey's Chow Down on Facebook. And if you like to laugh and joke and have a good time and you're tolerant, Drink with Trey on Facebook. We've got a lot of great craft cocktail ideas, but a lot of funnies. We post all day long. Funny videos, drunk videos, drinking videos. It's a really funny site because we also have good things to do about drinking and going to breweries and stuff here in Texas. And then Trey's Chat Out on Facebook. Look us up on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. If you name it, we there. We're all over it. And we're going to be live again once a week. We're here live next week. So y'all tune in, please. I want to thank my production staff as always, guys. Ron, Jeff, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all listening. Till next time, food is exploration of the palate. Try something new. You just might like it. We'll catch y'all next week. See you later.